When you hear the word China, what is the first thing that you think about? Could it be the traditional architecture? Or what about historic sites like the Great Wall of China? Or even simply Chinese food? What is it exactly about China that makes it so interesting? Let me take you on an adventure through Laishi, and I'll share with you a few things to know about China. I know that no one is perfect. You will find good people. That's what China's like. I know that you will find good people and bad people in every country. The number one thing that I really don't like about Chinese people would have to be how inconsiderate they are. Okay, this is literally what I mean about inconsideracy. My light is freaking green and I'm gonna go. See, this is literally what I mean about inconsideracy. My light was green, I was allowed to go, and people still turned left, and people still went straight. So, should look for oncoming drivers and should wait for the best time when they can pull out. But no, in China they'll see you and they'll make eye contact with you, but they still will pull out right in front of you, and it has caused many near accidents with Zach and I. One of the worst things that could ever happen to you when you're traveling abroad is when you break your phone. So about a few months ago, I was driving on the back of Zach's scooter and I had my phone fall out of my pocket. And I heard the noise when it happened, but I at first didn't really think anything of it. And Zach at that moment turned his head back and he saw a guy run into the middle of the street and grab something. And again, he also kind of didn't really think anything of it until really a few moments later. I was like, wait, where's my phone? And I'm searching in my pocket and no, there happens to be no phone. I was like, oh my gosh, I think I dropped my phone. The noise that I heard was when I dropped my phone. And so we go back and we're looking underneath cars and we're crawling all around on the ground, and yeah, there's no phone. And so Zach calls my phone and a guy picks up. We finally get the guy to meet us up at a certain location, which happened to be right next to my work. And so when we get there, he says he wants 200 RMB for it, which was like $30 US. And in America, there's really anything could happen. You could drop $100 and someone will chase you down the end of the road and give you your money back, or they'll keep it. It goes both ways, but more times than not in America, when I've dropped money, dropped anything really, the person who sees will immediately give it back to me. I ended up giving this guy 100 RMB, which is $15. It just goes to show that they're just inconsiderate. Where was it in his heart or in his morals to just be like, you know what, I should just give it to her? I'm a foreigner already. Without a phone, it's impossible to function in this country.
是未关门。
哦，我是美国人。
是美国人哈。
嗯，对，我来自美国。我喜欢你们的帽子。啊，对，喜欢。粉色是我的最爱颜色。不，这是你的。茄子。I told her that I liked her hat, and then she started handing it to me like she was gonna give it to me. And then she asked where I was from, and I told her that I was from America. Okay, maybe after that, I take back what I said about how Chinese people are inconsiderate. Here and there, you will find really nice people. Like I said about countries, there's good people and there's bad people. It's just, in this country, I've had a lot of bad things happen from bad people. Zach and I have come home from work late at night. Zach will forget anything like his speaker on the scooter, and it'll be out there all night, and then the next morning we'll wake up and we'll go back out to the scooter, and sure enough his speaker is still there. So it's like It's not like China is horrible, it's not like it's great. I don't think it's dangerous in that sense, but I've had a bike stolen before. When I first moved to China, I had no way or form of transportation, but one of my friends let me borrow her bike, and so I just biked everywhere and I'd bike to work, and yeah, my bike got stolen at work. I befriended this man who owns a coffee shop, and sometimes I need to go upstairs to get groceries, so I'll just leave all my belongings in that store, and you know, all my things are still there. Another frequent question I get asked is China cheap? Yes. For my Filipino friends who's watching this, where I'm at right now happens to be kind of like your Filipino night markets. You have the food, you have the cheap clothes, cheap jewelry, just random stores all next to each other, the busy roads, but here in China you have the scooters that are just everywhere. In the Philippines you drive the motorcycles, but you end up parking it. So imagine driving your motorcycles just when you're viewing all the items that you possibly want to purchase or whatever, or the food that you want to snack on. Just imagine driving your motorcycles through it, and that's how it is in China. But if you're buying the cheap things, if you're at the markets like these, no, of course everything's going to be very cheap. You can buy what's called malatang. It's a little soup restaurant, hole-in-the-wall place, and I mean, you can get a good-sized soup filled with meat, pumpkin, spinach, cabbage, clams, noodles. You can get it for about $3 US. That's going to be like 21 RMB. At the most, I've gotten it like 14 RMB. I mean, that's $2 right there. You can see some of these handbags right now. They're only 10 RMB. Those ones at the end are 15 RMB. That's less than $2. The great thing about being an English teacher in China is that the cost of living in China is cheaper than the salary that you make as a teacher. So you have more money to put away and save in your bank. Living in China and working as an English teacher, I don't have to pay for my rent. The company pays for my rent. So right there, that's like easily what $900 saved that would be in the US, or even $1,000 that people are spending on apartments that I'm saving and not paying anything for. I mean, that's kind of why I'm here. I'm just here in China to save money, and being an English teacher is pretty fun. It's not what I plan on doing for the rest of my life, but it just gives me a means to save for. Coming to China, I've had to realize that China is more than characters that are hard to even follow or read. They live simple lives. They all have TVs, they have cell phones. They like to come to the park, and in the end, it's not like I'm telling you don't come to China, but I just want to be real with you that there's a lot more things that people just don't tell you about the truth of China, the things that people face on a day-to-day basis. So let me ask you this again. What is the first thing that you think about when you hear the word China?